Retro Racing reports from Baylands Raceway Park out of Fremont, California. We have a 3-day show, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This is September 15, 16, 17 of 1983. If it's a 3-day show, and if it's at Baylands, you know it's going to be the World of Outlaws. World of Outlaws were established in 1978. We're in 1983 now. So they're running through their 5th season, 5th or 6th, depending on how you want to count your math. We have several promotional articles, a load of pictures, and full race data results from all 3 nights of the 3-night affair. From Baylands, the Baylands Bulletin. Welcome to the 3rd running of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Budweiser Classic at Baylands Raceway Park. Racing takes place for 3 nights. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with the winner of the 30-lap feature picks up a check for $10,000. The World of Outlaws started their annual Western Swing at Santa Maria last Friday and Saturday nights, with Steve Kinzer taking Friday evening's 20-lap feature. 3-time World of Outlaw driving champion passed Jeff Swindell on the 14th lap and breezed home in front of defending World of Outlaw title holder Sammy Swindell. His younger brother Jeff was 3rd, with Northern California's Tim Green 4th and Arizona's Ron Schumann coming home 5th. They came back on Saturday night before the largest crowd in the history of the Santa Maria track, and Sammy Swindell drove the bright red Old Milwaukee Beer Special, owned by drag racer Raymond Beadle, to first place in a $6,000 payoff for the 40-lap feature. It was a wild night of racing, with younger brother Jeff Swindell coming home 2nd and Ron Schumann 3rd. Steve Kinzer came back from a tangle with Tim Green and a stuck throttle crash into the infield tires to finish 4th. Leland McSpadden was 5th in a Budweiser Light Sprinter. McSpadden was subbing for Chick Gurney, who was back in Indianapolis, winning the Hoosier 100 USAC Gold Crown Dirt Car Championship race. Tim Green took a spectacular spill on the 34th lap, flipping end for end several times after tangling with Steve Kinzer. Although 2nd-ranked World of Outlaw driver Doug Wolfgang said that it was the worst-looking flip I've seen this season by a wing car, Green wasn't injured badly and was released from the hospital early Sunday morning. From Santa Maria, the Outlaws headed north for Saugus Speedway, where they made a one-night appearance on Sunday evening with Steve Kinzer wheeling the Kinzer Brothers Special to victory in a 30-lap feature. Ron Schumann led the early part of that race, but Kinzer ran him down and went on to win by 100 yards over Sammy Swindell and Schumann. The Outlaws took a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off to make much-needed repairs to their cars before coming to Baylands. Most of them had come directly from Odessa, Missouri to Santa Maria and hadn't had much time to repair any damage suffered during the I-70 Speedway races in Missouri. This includes Wolfgang, who took a spectacular rocket ship ride over the 30-foot high turn at I-70. He bounced upside down several times in the famed Kenny Rogers Gambler Chassis Sprinter. Crew Chief Kenny Woodruff has had the car in Sacramento making repairs and changes to the car so that Wolfgang can have a final shot at the World of Outlaw Point Championship. Kinzer currently holds a 407-point lead in the standings going into the first night of racing here at Baylands. He's up over Wolfgang, with Sammy Swindell 3rd, Shane Carson is 4th, and Ron Schumann is 5th in Skull Bandit standings. Item number 2 from Dave Vodden. Wolfgang returns to defend title in the Baylands Outlaw Series. Doug Wolfgang of Sioux City, South Dakota, is coming to California as the reigning champion of the Baylands World of Outlaw National Championship Sprint Car event. Since capturing the $8,000 win on the fast 3/8 mile clay oval, Wolfgang has competed in over 50 sprint car events. his nomadic pursuit of victory on the National Sprint Car Circuit has resulted in 49 feature wins. Since his victory at Baylands in September '82, he's visited Victory Circle 3 times. "We're ready for the Baylands event," noted the articulate Wolfgang. "It was a big win for us last year. A win this year would boost our team's spirit. I know I can win even against Swindell and Kinzer. Having won here before gives us added confidence, an edge," he says. Wolfgang, who is just as serious about his hobbies of racquetball, motorcycle riding, and physical fitness as he is about his avocation as a professional race driver, has a lot of respect for his competition. "There's no question that the competition is tough. Well, I follow the circuit with most of the boys, and we know each other well, both on and off the track." He said they're all tough, but Sammy Swindell and Steve Kinzer are among the toughest. This is sometimes a matter of inches, and some small little detail that makes the difference between winning and running second. You never know. You just drive all out, and when the checkered flag falls and you've never let up once, wherever you are in the finish is where you belong, Wolfgang says. An added complication in the Baylands World of Outlaws event is the presence of some of the toughest local competition to ever welcome the traveling outlaws. Included in the local category is 1982 track champion Jimmy Sills of Sacramento. Sills holds the all-time Baylands track record and has been able to run with the Outlaws on their turf, finishing 5th at Knoxville this year. Sills finished 2nd in the '82 event. Other local talent capable of beating the Outlaws includes Tim Green of Sacramento, Brett Kading of Campbell, Chuck Kearney of Pleasanton, and Jimmy Boyd from Dixon. Besides the home track advantage, all of these drivers are equal in skill to the best Outlaws. "Well, the difference in the past has been the equipment," said Sills. "The Outlaws have had the best equipment and usually 2 and 3 of everything. Most locals have 1 car, 1 motor. It's a $30,000 operation versus a $100,000 plus operation. And in some ways, that's unfair competition. This year, however, Green, Boyd, Gurney, and I are much closer in equipment to Swindell, Wolfgang, Kinzer, and the others. I think they're going to be surprised, and I predict a local will win the $10,000 first prize." That was Jimmy Sills, full of confidence. Whether a local or an outlaw can win the 3rd annual Baylands event, September 15 through 17, will become known Thursday when the 2 groups first meet in the preliminary night of qualifying heats and the main events. Friday's show also includes qualifying heats and main events. And the Thursday and Friday shows will result in 16 cars going into Saturday's A main, including the top 8 finishers from Thursday and Friday A mains. So the show builds. Saturday will give the non-qualifiers one more chance to make the show as 4 heats are run. After the heats, there will be a C main, B main, and finally a 30-lap A main. We do have the results from each of those nights. You'll see those come up on the screen. What a great night for racing. 3 times over. One more feature article building up to the events of the night. Here we go, by Greg Smithson. An article, Swindell, an outlaw who's tough to catch. In the Memphis, Tennessee suburb of Bartlett, country music and auto racing are among the main attractions to town. With his almost lyrical name, Sammy Swindell sounds like he could be an opening act at the Grand Ole Opry down the road in Nashville. But Swindell is involved in the other main attraction in town, auto racing, and not the NASCAR Grand National style, which is so popular in the South. Swindell is one of the top competitors in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. The defending national champion, he brings his high-powered Chevrolet to Baylands Raceway Park this weekend for the circuit's annual stop in Northern California. "I was born into the racing family, and it just seemed natural for me to do it," said the quiet Swindell, who looks younger than his 26 years. "I started out on my dad's pit crew in the super modifieds and gradually got to my own car." It was about the only thing I ever thought of doing. In Bartlett, it's about the only thing going. The Outlaws circuit has been good to Swindell. One of the original members of Ted Johnson's touring entourage from 5 years ago, he's stuck with the circuit through thick and thin. Swindell holds about 30 track records throughout the country, including the national half-mile dirt track record of 14.892 seconds for a lap, set at Eldora, Ohio. On the surface, Swindell's annual stop in Northern California may appear to be an unwise risk of his reputation. He and other touring national drivers will be going against a group of hungry, fired-up Northern California drivers competing on their home track against the big names. And they would like nothing better than to put a feather in their own cap by beating the big boys. Sacramento's Jimmy Sills even had the audacity to break Swindell's track record at Baylands earlier this year. But for Swindell, this weekend's $52,000 event is just another race in a series of 45 all over the country this year. Well, it's pretty tough to come in here cold and try to figure out the track, admitted Swindell. The local racers have that advantage over us. They know the line. So we have some tinkering and hope to come up with the right combination the first time off the trailer. Swindell was able to do that last year. He not only won the race going away, but also turned a 15.13 second lap on the 3/8 mile dirt track at Baylands last year for the track record. Sills lowered it to 15.106 earlier this season. Well, he didn't break it by much, said Swindell with a smile. If they have the track in shape, I should have no problem getting the record back. It looks as if the defending champion is coming into town loaded for bear. Gates open at 5 both tonight and Friday for qualifying, and the final scheduled for Saturday. An additional session of qualifying will be held Saturday, 7 o'clock, with the race at 8. That's great. And you can see on the nights, everybody who won. And in the end, the big show, Saturday night, was won by Sammy Swindell.